Climate alarmism is back, baby, and global warming is in the front page of the news. The United Kingdom just authorized experiments to be conducted to dim the sun, just like a Bill Gates experiment or a World Economic Forum experiment, which is designed to prevent the warming of the globe. Many concerns there, many conspiracy theories you could put together on that. But what I'll show you first is, do you remember when King Charles created a climate clock to keep you in fear, to fear you into submission, so to speak? Look at this.
Climate clock at a summit in London this afternoon. It triggers 150 similar clocks across the major cities of the UK, counting down the seconds to 2030. The estimated deadline for limiting climate change to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. But the UK...
The deadline. So if you're not already concerned enough about the state of your country and how downhill it has gone, now you've got to worry about the sun cooking you alive and your family and grandkids either being underwater or never living anyway. Yeah, and so there's an experiment that they did not too long ago, and it was called Satan. The Satan Project was the stratospheric aerosol injection, or rather, it was the stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation project, which involved small-scale tests releasing sulfur dioxide via high-altitude weather balloon. This is basically the exact same thing done on a larger scale. They've already appropriated 50 million pounds for projects. This is just another way to coerce you into submission. You've got the climate taxes. You've got the climate alarmism, which keeps you subservient to the government, who's telling you you're a villain. You are killing the environment. You're killing animals. You're killing each other simply because you're alive and you're breathing. You're a carbon-based life form. Although the evidence suggests that carbon, don't call me a scientist, I'm no expert, I've never been to the ecosystem, as bane to the ecosystem. However, carbon is what plants live on. That's how our oxygen is their carbon dioxide. And the funny thing is that the earth has been greening, believe it or not. Greening, I say. That's a good thing, right? No, you're a monster. Don't breathe. Wear a respirator everywhere you go so you don't release the carbon dioxide into the environment. Now, I will stress this point to you. There's something else involved here where you have to think about the government control and what they say is going to be sulfur. It's sulfur dioxide, which can brighten the clouds, as it says here in this article, brighten clouds and reflect sunshine to prevent runaway climate change. Now, there's this old news clip, boom, that I'm going to put here, and this is in the 80s. They've been doing this since the 80s, saying that Florida is going to be underwater. Believe it or not. Watch.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world.
So the concerning factor in all of this is that the government has done this before, governments across the world. There are two specific programs, operations, projects that I'm going to note here. There's one being Operation Large Area Coverage, where the United States Army Chemical Corps dispersed microscopic zinc cadmium sulfide over much of the United States and Canada. Now, why would they do that? To test the United States' vulnerability to a bioweapons attack. This is their way in, so to speak. If they have a program that authorizes the ejection of stratospheric aerosols, what's to say that they don't think, all right, well, this sulfur is not going to be as effective. The sulfur dioxide is not going to be as effective. So we're going to use aluminum, or we're going to use zinc cadmium sulfide, whatever. They've got the inroad to manipulate and change the project in ways that they see fit. However, a lot of the data is not there because this hasn't been studied for the long-term effects on humans. So there's large area coverage, and this had long effects. You've got to think of the ecological impact where these chemicals come down. Of course, you can inhale it and it causes respiratory irritation, and it can cause pneumonia, things of that nature. And then you've also got the ecological effects where these chemicals come from the sky and they get embedded into the ground, effectively damaging the crops, and you're consuming that as well. So you've also got Operation Seaspray. Now, this one's a little bit more nefarious. It was a secret biological warfare experiment conducted by the U.S. Navy in the 50s, and it involved spraying the San Francisco Bay Area with Serrata marcescens, if I said that wrong, forgive me, and Bacillus globigi bacteria, again, to assess whether a large city was vulnerable to a bioweapons attack. This caused, again, major negative health effects for American citizens. Get this, the United Kingdom did the very same thing. These secret tests, and they spray, and people get sick and ill and die of pneumonia. And this is, again, ecological effect. It's going to get into your crops. It's going to get into the soil. It's going to get into your water supply. This is the Last of Us. This is like the setup for the Last of Us. What are we doing here? We're allowing our government to say climate change and global warming, and okay, I'll be charitable and say, okay, let's hear you out. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to manipulate the scenario so they say they can use a different element without telling you. This is what they do. It's a clandestine operation half of the time that you don't know about, but you do, however, see the conspiracy theory we're all crazy about, but the sky's already getting blotted out by contrails, water vapor, they say, right? So now you see there's multiple programs in the past that have been observed that have been specifically designed to prevent global warming, climate change, the melting of the ice caps. But then there's also been other programs that have been implemented, projects that have been implemented specifically designed to test whether the human body can withstand certain chemicals. Then in addition, whether you're vulnerable to a bioweapons attack. And those were done in secret. What are they going to be able to do if they get approval and appropriation of millions and millions of dollars for a program to blot out the sun when they've already made it well known that we need to control our population, that we're overpopulated, that the new WEF head said we need to privatize water because it's not necessarily a human right, right? So we've got despotic people who use power, who use their power to scare you into submission, and then they also try to negatively impact your biome. You as a person are affected by these things, your fertility, your well-being, your mental health, and your longevity. So these things need to be called out. That's what we do here. So yeah, don't fall for it. Thanks.